It started with a step followed by a trot. We learned to gallop. Then it got mechanical. At first it was to survive. It was all about the destination, but that changed when the journey started to get fun. I'm Julian Taylor, and these are my friends, Sam and Jen.
If it has a motor, we will ride it, drive it, or fly it, and compete to win.
It's not always about where you go, it's how you get there.
It's not where you go, it's how you get there.
So, Sam, why have you brought me to Peoria, Illinois as against sunny Florida? It is sunny here, I'll give you that, though.
You wait to get here to ask that question?
Yeah. What are we doing here?
Bob's a good friend of mine.
Right.
I told him we were coming to town because we got some other things lined up also.
Okay.
And he said, hey, while you're in town, swing by, grab any cars you want. Julian can have a car, you can have a car, Acura, Honda, whatever you want, and enjoy yourself.
So we can choose any car we want from either Honda or Acura?
He owns both dealerships.
From Bob?
Yep.
Oh, this sounds fun.
Bob's a great friend. We go way back, and I brought Julian here to have another experience that he's gonna really enjoy. So not only are we gonna be able to drive these cars, but I've also arranged for us to go to Caterpillar, where Julian and I will be able to operate some seriously huge machinery.
So what I like about this trip is I didn't organize it. This is all through Sam. And Sam said to me, I can take any vehicle, any car on the lot. Really, any car on the lot. That's the type of instruction that's right up my alley.
So here we are, we're walking around looking at a lot of cool cars, and I spot a nice bright blue RDX. It's got exhaust system on it, nice rims and tires, and of course, it is the A-spec. I had to pick it.
Really? Already? You're gonna dibs on the very first car you see?
Yeah, because this one's pretty sexy, and I know you're gonna try to grab it. I figured it was the right car to use because it's a great thing to drive around town, beautiful views. From what I hear, it's all about the view here. I don't need a race car to look at a beautiful view.
So I felt there was something fishy. Sam jumped on the RDX straight away. And it got me thinking, what else is on this lot? Oh, no, I like this one. This is the Civic R. This is the sport version, like 300 horsepower.
So Julian picks out the Civic, which is a nice car. I mean, it's got all the add-ons, looks really sporty, flares, big wing on the back. It's got Brembo brakes. This is a little too much, I think.
This is beautiful
You
car.
need to tone it down. This is what I'm thinking. Four-door, mellow, just a family cruiser.
No, look at that. It's an Acura NSX.
No. I'm sure that is not on the list of options.
All of a sudden, I see over Sam's shoulder what's going on. He's hiding from me the NSX, the hybrid sports car of Acura.
If Bob has watched any of the previous shows, he is not going to let you drive this car.
Didn't you tell me earlier? Pick any car? Well, I'm picking an NSX.
I don't think this is, you shouldn't be getting in the car.
Oh, look at this. It's beautiful.
All right, don't get too comfortable, because if he comes out here and sees you jumping in this car, it's a $200,000 car.
Oh.
No. There's not a key in there.
This is mine, Dibs.
No. There's not a key in there, right? Hey, there's not a key in there, is there? I'm sure Bob did not mean an NSX. I mean, that was not part of the program. There's a lot of other options, Odyssey, the Pilot, anything else for Julian would be better than that. That's just a bad idea.
Sam is a friend of mine. He actually doesn't live too far from our place down in Florida. In conversations, I told him if he came up here for a visit, he and Julian could drive any car they'd like to drive. Guys, welcome to the Bob Lindsay Honda dealership. We're excited about you being here.
So we've got a little problem. I know you said anything, but you didn't really mean anything.
I said anything on the lot, and I meant anything on the lot.
Bob, you've seen previous episodes, and you've seen the destruction this guy can do.
That's okay, Sam. Your credit's good here.
And let's face it, you're the only person in this room that's actually wrecked an NSX.
It doesn't matter. I don't want to pay for a second one. Okay, listen, it's true. I crashed one. It was 20 years ago. There's nothing to bring up now. It's old news. I'm rehabilitated. I've moved on. We should all just move on past that experience.
All right, Jillian, we're going to start off slow.
Slow and NSX in the same sentence? That's counterintuitive.
Julian right away gravitated towards the NSX, which is understandable, and we've made some special arrangements for him to be able to drive it out on a frontage road that parallels the runway at the airport. We haven't told Julian, so we're hoping that that's going to be a very pleasant surprise for him. But we're also going to do Grandview Drive, which is a gorgeous drive here in Peoria.
Teddy Roosevelt said that Grandview Drive is the world's most beautiful drive.
Teddy Roosevelt said that about this road we're about to take?
Yep.
Only thing we ask you is to bring it back in one piece. If you break it in half, you own both halves. Hopefully Julian won't wreck anything, but we'll hold Sam accountable for that if he does.
This is the ideal situation. Sam's on the hook for it, so if I do wreck it, it's his credit.
So Julian gets the benefit of an NSX, and I'm on the hook.
So can we get the keys then?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I still think this is a mistake, just for the
NSX,
record.
here we come. This is a very pretty road. Look at that. The views are phenomenal.
Yeah, the view is amazing. The way they've maintained the common area is really, really nice. You can just tell this town takes care of the area, and it's just gorgeous.
I wonder what it was like when Teddy Roosevelt drove it, because obviously there might not have been as many houses. It wouldn't have been as built up as it is now, and I can see what he was getting at with the view.
Yes, and he definitely was not cruising around in an NSX.
Hey, so Sam, what's that RDX like?
I gotta tell you, it's got luxury in mind.
Well, what's that got inside? Has that got the sport package on it? That's the A, isn't it? The A platform?
Yes, it is the A spec, and it's got the Sport Plus package, which I'm in right now, and it makes it sound even better, makes it shift even harder, and give you that racy feel. So even though it's an SUV, it still has that sporty feel to it, and definitely the sporty sound.
It's actually a pretty car as well from the back here, I have to say.
I know you can't witness it or see it, but if you're driving up here with me and you look in the rearview mirror, the front end of that NSX is so damn sexy. I think we picked the two hottest colors on the lot. So we're going to meet JD D'Alfonso. He's the president and CEO of the PACVB, and I'm sure he's going to have something great in store for us.
Well, welcome, guys. Proud to have you in my hometown of Peoria in central Illinois.
Thanks for having
the
us.
invitation.
Yeah, that's
you know?
great.
We have a lot of cool stuff in store for you. As you've seen a little bit of Peoria already.
Oh, yeah.
The surprising thing we like to tout is that we have 340 years of history here. So what we pride ourselves in here in Peoria is this long history. We really enjoy highlighting the experiences that have come from our history. A lot of that comes from just our French settlers coming here in 1680 to the whiskey capital of the world prior to Prohibition. We've seen the Duryea be created and built here, the first American-made gas-powered automobile, to the headquarters of Caterpillar. You know, it's still the hometown of Caterpillar, and we pride ourselves on that. So there's a lot to be proud of when it comes to innovation in transportation and how you can actually get here to Peoria, Illinois. We do have a surprise for you.
A surprise? What does that mean?
So we want you to open these up. We will secure a closed road for you guys to open these cars up and have a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
That's a Peoria experience for you.
I love Peoria.
We're moving to the airport. We want to give them the opportunity to open up the Acuras a little bit more. So I know these guys are going to have a lot of fun.
Can you believe this?
Are you kidding me?
A closed road, and they've given us 2 more cars.
We have 4 cars to play with and a half a mile to play with them on. That's what I'm talking about.
So they sent us here to the airport on a perimeter road, so it's a closed road, totally legal to do whatever we would like to do. They also gave us 2 other cars. They gave us the Civic R, which is the sport little rocket, 300 horsepower. Then we've got the Accord as well, which is more of the family saloon. We talked about this. We wanted to see what it could do. Having it here is excellent.
Yeah, that one's going to be fast for sure. With that wing on the back. Look at that red interior. But anyway, listen, we got like over half a mile here. We're on a runway.
Basically.
No police.
Yeah, no,
Can't break
nothing.
the law.
Can't get
We can go
done.
as fast as we want.
That's right. Now, we can't compare these cars together because that's not fair. What we can do, though, is between the pair of us, get in each one of them individually, do a flying lap, and take one of the GoPros, put it right in front of the speedometer so we can see what we're actually doing down this private road. So we've got 4 cars, we've got a beautiful day, the sun's out. Let's get going.
So pretty neat. Bob surprising us with these cars at an airport runway. Got to jump in an SUV, the RDX from Acura. Sporty looking SUV. It happened to have exhaust on it, which made it sound really, really good. A comfortable vehicle that still had a little pep to it. Went down the runway. It had good power, great braking. I didn't know what to expect coming to a standstill, and that thing stopped on a dime.
At the end of the day, it's a very comfortable, well-made, unique mid-size SUV. Not a lot of top end on that. We couldn't get really any more than 99 to 100 out of that.
Can you pass me a coffee?
I want some classical music, I tell you.
Something.
We got
We're barely we're not even at 100 yet.
And then you go from that to the Honda Accord 2-liter turbo.
The Accord being more of a family-style vehicle, yet still has a little sport to it. It's designed to really get you from point A to point B comfortably.
Had a little bit of power to it. It was a bit quicker off the line than the actual SUV was, But when you got to 100, you got to 100. That was it. And then you went to my little race rocket. I love the Civic R. Well, the first thing I love it for, it's got a clutch and it's got a gearbox. Everybody knows my view on that. That's the way to drive a car. Forget these paddle shifters, go straight for a gearbox. Extremely twitchy in the corners, which is great for a front-wheel drive, you know what you're doing. But it was a powerful little car, so 114 on that, I think. That was the max we got in that.
It's a lightweight car, now with 300 horsepower, so even more horsepower than the other two cars that we tested, and lighter. So you notice a really big difference. But, you know, the best of the best was the final one, the Acura NSX. That made you forget about every other car you tested. It just had so much more power. Where the other cars were getting to about, 100, 110 maybe, this car got us to almost 140 miles an hour down the straightaway. The ability to have that 500 horsepower gas engine plus an additional 70 horsepower from the electric side was really neat. All those sports cars I've been in the past and exotics never really had both. All the horsepower, all the looks, all the show, and does it have go? Oh, yes, it has go. This is a car. We're already at 90, 100, 127, 130, 135.
Well, obviously, the NSX is just unbelievable. It's a hybrid sports car. It's a hybrid supercar, really. It's up with the Ferraris of the world.
The fact that we're leaving here today without Julian buying an NSX is a good day. So day 2 to this whole journey is going to be Julian's day. For the first time ever, we're going somewhere where destruction is allowed. It's going to be much bigger vehicles. We can do a lot more damage and a lot more destruction. This is big equipment. Let's see what he can do. Day 1 was a blast. Bob Lindsay invited us to his Acura and Honda store, let us pick out some toys. We got to go to the runway and really beat on them, and it was a blast. But day 2 is even better. Caterpillar is a huge company based out of this town, and we're invited to check out the facility and everything they've got going on behind the scenes.
We're currently at the Edwards Demonstration and Learning Center. We sit on about 720 acres. So as we get started today, I'm actually going to have a couple of demonstrator instructors help keep Sam and Julian on track and make sure we keep progressing through all of our challenges. What we have done is set up a course, 2 courses, one for each of you, exactly identical. So what we're going to have you do is each of you operate these skid steer loaders, 236D3 machines behind us. Take the wooden bar that's clamped to the forks on the machine and thread the bar through the openings of the vertical posts. We'll add time if you knock the balls off, but there is one more surprise. We're not going to let you run the machine from the seat.
Oh, you're going to do remote control?
We're going to do a remote control.
My strategy's got to be just take it easy, try and not knock any of the balls down. I don't know what the penalty is for a ball falling, but I've got this feeling already that Sam is going to go like a bull in a china shop.
So I said, I'm going to go in fast. I might knock off a couple balls, but I'm still going to come out ahead.
All right, on your mark, set, go.
So the race starts, and right away, I've got that throttle cranked up, and I'm on the gas.
So my approach is going to be like a doctor's approach. First, do no harm.
He went nice and slow and easy, and it was all about precision and safety.
I couldn't watch Sam through the course of this. He was whacking things and hitting things. I could hear swear words, I think it was.
Hey, I'm already done over here. I'm going to go have lunch. Finished way ahead of him. What, 10, 20-second penalty? I got it. No big deal.
We have the final tally of the scores.
What was the penalty for dropping your balls?
The penalty for dropping balls, each ball 30-second penalty. Sam, total time, 5 minutes, 28 seconds. Julian, total time, 5 minutes, 2 seconds.
Oh, that's not even right. It's not right. that's not even right. No.
Yes, nailed it, I nailed it. And he was just like so blasé and cocky about it. He was gonna fly through it, no hassles.
You know what? At the end of the day, he can have this win. Little machine, little man syndrome, he can have it. The big machine is where it really matters.
So challenge number 2 is utilizing the 320 size class hydraulic excavators. Okay, so what we're gonna do is time you, let you dig for X amount of minutes. The end goal is to have it look exactly like this, 3 feet deep, nice flat floor. So Jeff has already preset a cut in the machine, so it's 3 foot of a cut. As you get to digging down to that 3 feet, you're gonna hear an audible alarm telling you that's at 3 feet. Now it won't stop you.
So you can still dig deep, but you just got to keep to the 3 foot.
Yeah, you got to keep it to that 3 foot.
Okay. Now we stepped it up a notch. Now we've got the excavator. That's a much bigger machine, much more complicated, no remote control joystick. You have to get in it and you have to operate it. And that's going to be a lot harder to control.
So our tracks move independently.
Okay.
So left track, right track, 4-way functions on each hand. Boom and bucket, stick and swing.
All right.
All right, let's get loaded up, let's get digging.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, I started the clock, let's go.
So now you jump in this thing, you've got 2 joysticks, and these joysticks do a lot of different things. When I first looked at these joysticks, I said, oh, there's no buttons, but these joysticks are going every different direction, and you have to be thinking at all times. But when you're in competition against Julian and you want to win, it gets a lot more tricky, trying to make sure you can go as fast as you can.
It's like your arms become a part of the machine. You have to get used to being able to use the joysticks and not think about what you're doing with each individual piece of equipment.
Nice job, guys.
So I was trying to maximize every single scoop. I wanted to make sure that when I had that bucket coming up, it was full to the limit. And I did a pretty good job of that. When you look at the size of my trench compared to Julian's, I definitely went a lot farther, and I have a much bigger pile of dirt behind me.
It's a bit deep there.
A little deep.
That's spot on.
Ooh, that's pretty close.
That's spot on.
Okay, when you weigh this out between both trenches, when we got together and judged, we think everything averages out and it's probably a tie.
I don't agree with that. There's no way anybody that sees this and sees that would even nearly call it a tie.
I got the right height all the way through, and I won the first challenge. I won, really. I get to choose what we're going to be driving. What is the next challenge?
I think
and we'll
you
be able
guys
to do it.
have earned the right to run the bigger machines.
So there you go.
You
We're
guys
both
ready
going
to
to
go?
drive a machine. It's a job done. I'm
You
fine.
guys ready to go do it?
Yeah, let's
Let's
go.
go. Come on.
Yeah,
You
let's go
earned
do
it.
it.
You guys did a great job today. However, I'm not so sure I'll get you a job in the real world operating business.
What's that mean?
Why?
A little bit more time in the seat, and I think you'll get it.
Oh, dear.
I think they did a great job. Typically, when you have any individual that has never had any exposure to equipment before, there's quite the long learning curve. But these 2 gentlemen picked up on the ability to make all the functions work and actually get the job done. As promised, we're gonna let you get on some big equipment.
Oh, yeah.
So we're gonna let Julian pick first between the 990 wheel loader or the 775 Corey truck.
All my life, my bucket list, I have wanted to drive a rock truck. So I'm taking a rock truck.
When he was a little kid, he never got the little toy one, I guess.
Yes.
So that's
Well, I
been his
actually
lifelong
did,
dream.
but I could never really drive it, so now I want to drive it.
So that means Sam gets to run the loader.
Yeah, that one there. That's the loader. Put him in that one there, and that's perfect.
That's my size, right there. That's what I've been waiting for.
He'd be sitting in there like this. I wanted him to be sitting there with his knees up against his chin. That's what he deserved. He couldn't go crazy in that thing because the bucket's only 4 inches by 4 inches.
Okay, Julian, you're up first. You ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go for it.
So Julian got to pick first, and he wanted to pick the rock truck. It's actually a dump truck. I'm used to dumping on him anyway, so no big deal.
It's always been a lifelong dream of mine to drive what I call a rock truck. And they've got a 775 here, which is fantastic. When you actually get next to it, you realize the sheer size of it. And this is one of the smaller ones. They're 6 times the size of this.
I gotta tell you, look at a big piece of machinery like that, you think, it's no big deal until you walk up to it. As you're walking up to it, you see a big giant that you know can do a lot of destruction, you know, weighs a lot, but you get into it, it's really, really comfortable inside. Jeff was already in there, he was comfortable, had the AC blowing, he was already in position.
The learner's seat next to the main seat's not that comfortable. It's got no springs or anything, so you get a bit beat up there, but when you get into the main seat, it's remarkable. Now, the thing is with this machine, I was very shocked with, it's like driving a car. That's the gearbox. It's easy, piece of cake.
The one part that I didn't like is I had to work in harmony with Julian, and I don't like to do that. I like to work against him. Here today, we had to actually load his truck, so then I had to learn how to do that without hitting him. I had to learn exactly how to reset the boom every time you want to go up and down, and make sure that when you're going into the load of dirt, you're going in at the right angle. There's a lot of things that you have to think about, and it was pretty intense, but we kept calm and did it right.
The great thing about today is it was extremely unique. You know, you can go into a car dealership, even a Ferrari dealership, go in and drive a Ferrari. Doesn't happen at CAT. You have to be fully invited to get here. You have to be, I feel, a chosen one to come and play with these machines. They really hooked us up, showed us every corner of it as well. There's absolutely loads of everything to do here. Loved it.
There are individuals that come to the Peoria area and want to learn more about Caterpillar. We have the CAT Visitor Center downtown that anybody can just walk in there and look at the Caterpillar history.
It was amazing. It's nothing that you will probably ever do in your life normally, because who lets you drive one of these things? We got invited, we came out, we did it, we had a blast, and we didn't destroy anything, believe it or not.
Absolutely brilliant session today.
So it's been a fast-paced couple of days, from cars to earth movers, and I felt it was time to slow it down a few notches, and the Spirit of Peoria was the best way to do it.
So we finish off with a paddle boat ride. How cool is this?
The Spirit of Peoria. No better way to end a crazy couple days.
It has been an absolutely nuts couple of days, and look, got a cracking view of Peoria as well.
The place is gorgeous.
Smack bang in the middle of Illinois as well. 2.5 hours to Chicago, 2.5 hours to St. Louis. Spot on.
We've seen so much while being here.
I have to say, the NSX was unbelievable. Really great fun to drive. Private closed road. And then we get to drive cats.
Caterpillars were just amazing to see and to drive and to operate. We learned a lot there.
Rock truck, my favorite.
Slow-paced.
Slow-paced.
Which is the opposite of what we like.
Yeah, exactly. I have to say, I think it's about time now we go and sit down and have a beer and talk to the banjo man.
I agree with you, but before we do that, don't forget,
it's not about the destination, it's how you get there.
Usually, Julian gets a plan of trips. This one I worked on, and I worked on hard. And when I found this place, I knew it was the place to come to. And it was a big hit.